Hey, Dustin, can you hear me okay? Let me know you can hear me okay. Okay, good. No distortions? Okay, some drivers, I don't know what they doing. I guess you don't have no patience. So, okay, cool. Wait to see if some more people come in here. How you doing? How's the new job? Are you started school yet? April 1st. Okay. All right, cool. Hey, Les, what's up, homie? You working yet? That's for Les. Did you get it? Did you get a, gig, a trucking gig yet? I'm gonna start with the topic here in a little bit. I'm just gonna give a few minutes to see if anybody else gets the alerts because most people play it on playback. And I'm going after I get off this, I'm gonna go get me a shower. Okay, all right. Text me. Let me know who you driving for. I know I don't tell y'all to put it on here, but yeah, let me know who you got. Okay. Oh, for CTAC. Okay, cool, Dustin. So you got a new gig. All right, Dustin got a new gig too. All right, cool. Yeah, text me, Les. Let me know who you got on with. Um, I know Nikki, the one I was supposed to interview, who was the lease purchase op. She turned her truck back in. She took the trailer back, and she got on with one of the dairy companies in Arizona. She's local at $24 an hour. So she does have to unload the truck, but she said she did it for another company. And, like I told her, everything happens for a reason. And her father or grandfather has some, I think he plays both roles because he adopted her, has some health issues. So it puts her closer to home. And she also has a mortgage. So, but I definitely want to interview her. She's got a lot of good information, just even on life. Just she did the kid's amazing. She's done some life changing events that, you know, just amazing, amazing young woman. Hey, She Brings, what's up? Good morning. How you doing? Yeah, I'm gonna be on here for a minute, and then I gotta go get a shower, and I gotta get some sleep. I'm supposed to be in Cali tomorrow. Hey, Chicago BBW, aka Miss Tasha. Good morning. Good morning. Um, how's y'all? Is y'all getting good weather? I'm in the home state of Arizona, but I'm working obviously. I'm on my way to CA, so I'm on my way to Sac and then Oakland. I had two drops in Sac and then one in Oakland. So I'll be in Oakland or Sacramento tomorrow. And I looked at this place and it looked tight as hell. So I got a call. it looked tight as hell. Some little meat company. So I got a Tyson load. Let's see what else is going on. I'm just gonna get into it. So I just wanted to say what's going on, good and bad, with this company. So far, I really, really, really like the company. The people seem to be mad cool. Somewhat very laid back, which it fits more of who my personality is. I don't like being stressed out on stuff. Like when I arrive at a customer, I don't have to say, oh, arrive at customer. Yeah. If I'm running behind for the reason, and I've only had one, which was I ran out of hours because I was rolling hours. And I told them I was, pretty much I was at my 70. I was real close. And it wasn't no anything being a butthole or disappointed. It was like, you doing good. You doing good. Because I told him when he gave it to me, I said, look, I know you gave me this load, but to be honest, I'm real close to my 70. I thought I was going to be coming into Lubbock to just reset. And instead, he had a load on me right as I was on my way in. And then it wasn't going very far. It was just going to San Antonio, but I had to go to Amarillo, get it, and then take it down to San Antonio to HEB. And I'd been to HEB before, but it'd been a while. And the route that I had to take was a route I hadn't taken since 2000 and shoot, probably 11, 12. I hadn't been down there that long time. So I did go over hours, and I had to call and tell him, but it wasn't even that wasn't, I didn't feel like, he's like, you're doing good. You're doing good. Because I was stressed out because I don't like going over hours. So I was like, but because I wasn't familiar with the highway, I should have stopped in Brady, Texas. There was like a hole in the wall truck stop and a Walmart I could have parked at. Instead, I had still had an hour on my clock, so I kept going. Hey, NATO B, what's up? I kept going, and basically, I didn't have anywhere to pull over. I mean, there was nothing for a minute. About an hour and 18 minutes, I had to drive over my clock, which I don't know. Like I said, I normally don't do. Because I was down to 2 hours and 20 minutes when I started out, and I was just driving as far as I could because I wasn't sure if he was going to swap it off of me. He rescheduled it, but by the time I passed Brady, there was no turning around. The closest next thing was going to be a Love's. There was one little picnic area. But I was still like 20 minutes, and there was stuff parked there, and I was like trying to get across the street to get to it. Too risky. So I just went on and went to Love's and parked there and shut it down for the night, and then took the load in the next morning. I'm going to talk about a place called McQueen. I might do that in another video because I found a little, y'all know me in food. I found a little roach. I'm doing a little bit better, though, than what I'm doing. I'm trying not to eat before I go to bed. That's one of the things I think is bad for most of us as truckers is that we usually eat a meal before we go to bed. So what I'm normally doing is just trying to drink something before I go to bed, or do one of those light protein bars and then go to sleep, which I'm probably going to do here in a minute when I come back after my shower. I'm at Love's right now in Lake Havasu City. So I do my final. They like us to fuel before we go into Cali because Cali fuel is so expensive. So top off everything. So I topped off the reefer, topped off the truck, topped off the DEF. But as y'all know, I got 2019 for Volvo. I'm going to do a video on the Volvo versus the Freightliner because that in itself, I'm in love with the new Volvo. I liked the old Volvo when I was with the Swift Fleet, but the new Volvo is bomb. It is bomb. And I still love my Freightliner, but fridge on here is almost as big as the fridge I had on my Freightliner that I bought myself. The freezer's a nice size. I can put frozen veggies in there. When I get back to Arizona, what I'm trying to do is go through my 60 days with these people. There's a 90-day period, 60 days before you can enroll in insurance, and a 90-day period where they basically are assessing you and you assess them, right? So right now, though, what I'm seeing, I don't have any major red flags. I mean, I did in the beginning because I didn't read everything properly. And when I talked to the lady who recommended me, because I was concerned with the fact they didn't have workman's comp, but they have in place of workman's comp. In the state of Texas, you don't have to have workman's comp. What they have, though, this company has a accident insurance, kind of like how you seen the Aflac commercial. It's not Aflac, but something like that. So if you have an occupational incident, they take care of it. So that much I was very happy about. And that was really one of my biggest worries. And the other one was the fact that if you damage freight, if freight gets damaged, that they could charge you like $200 increments out of your check to pay for it if it's your fault. But it says if it's your fault. If something mechanical happens with the reefer, that's their equipment. As long as you're watching it and notify them in time, that should not be your fault. Really what it is securing the load is what I'm getting. And again, with this company, I take pictures of a lot of stuff. Some of it's a little more manual, and I'm going to talk about something that took place that kind of was one of the good and bad things. This company subcontracts to another company that delivers for a grocery chain. That company also subcontracts to that grocery chain. Well, these are two independent owners of these two businesses. And we haul trailers not only for the company I'm with, but also for this company, this other customer he subcontracts to. I guess the other customer is a little bit more special. Get me? Special. So if you haul one of their trailers and you see any issues with it, you need to notify them immediately. Luckily enough, I've been doing that. And one time I did it accidentally because with the old company, the starter company I was with, most of them trailers was pieces of crap, right? It was like, y'all, if I put up pictures of them reefers, I got reefers with no brakes. I got reefers that had packaging tape on them. You should have seen some of the stuff. It was just beyond scope. The reefers were horrid. And here this little company is little, but the reefers are very well. Even the reefers from this one he subcontracts to, where he's tripping, dipping, and flipping, his reefers are in pretty damn good condition, and actually very good condition in comparison to the ones I carry for a starter company that is number 2 or 3 in the country. So, as far as size, I ain't gonna say that now because I got issues. Oh, people, these folks, I don't know what they be doing. Won't you let him? Oh, sweet mother of God. Y'all, if y'all see what I'm. Hey, Mandisa, what's up? You might have to rewind back a little bit. I'm just talking about the G&B of the company, the good and bad of the new company. So, um, with this company, it is a little more manual. That's probably the only gripe that I really have. What I do like is the family atmosphere. I like that they're friendly. I like that he knows me as soon as I call in. Um, I basically, my dispatchers are two people, the owner and what I call the second in command, which was also a driver. The owner's name is Michael. The other second in command is David. And then Michael's son, the owner's son, is Safety. Um, all of them know me by name. I mean, and I'm sure they know every driver by name. The fleet must be really growing because I had truck 421, which was brand new and had been sitting there for 2 weeks. The gentleman who got hired around the same time I got hired, he had 422. Both of our trucks were brand new. They've been sitting on a lot about 2 weeks. I'd been going out for like a week. I got back mid of last week, Wednesday. And then when I came back to this truck on Thursday, started putting my stuff back on the truck Thursday because I did a reset at home or in Lubbock and temporary home with my father. We won't talk about Grumpy Smurf right now. That's madness. But I did a reset there, and I was just going to reset and get back on the truck on Thursday and be ready to roll Monday or Friday. Well, he's like, oh, no, you got a load. I'm just going to set you up with a load for Saturday. Early morning. I'm like, okay, well, I actually did leave Friday evening and go get the load because it was ready. Because I called them. I called the company. I called Tyson and said, hey, this is what I'm picking up. And I'm happy I did because the way he scheduled it, I would have been like, it would have been real. I don't even know. And again, they're in Texas, so I don't know how, I know he was a driver, but I don't know how frequently he drove Cali or how long ago he drove Cali. But you got to give time on Cali loads because you got to go fight Cali traffic, even if it's Northern Cal. And I'm going to be in Northern Cal, but you still, especially Oakland, child, I got to go into Sac and Oakland. Child, please. You got to give time on that. Anywho, what I'm finding is that right now, because of the other company we carry for, you have to do what I call CYA, cover your ass. And the reason is because if anything happens, so for example, I'm going to put a picture, I'm going to change the thumbnail that's on here. Y'all go back and see the thumbnail. I'll put the picture of the trailer that I picked up. I picked up a couple different trailers for them. So when you go to their facility and pick it up, they're in Lubbock, they give you a sheet to circle off any issues. If you see scratches, dents, breaks, whatever. And you scratch, and you basically they have a picture of the front, the side, the back, whatever. And you circle whatever's wrong and make notes. But if you go to like Freona, for example, and go to Cargill and pick up a trailer. I pick up a trailer on a drop yard like in Tyson. Like this trailer I picked up, there's issues with this trailer too, as far as physical damages, and I took pictures. You need to I need to picture them, and then I need to send it over to my company immediately. Because if you don't, what the other company, it sounds like, is trying to do is put it on his drivers. And I think it's more so to try to get him to pay for damages that were either done either at a facility or on their yard, or that they knew was old damages. So basically, you got to cover your ass with this particular customer that he's subcountry to. And it's sad that you should have to do that, especially on stuff that most likely either is old damage, like what I saw. I mean, to me, it looked older damage because then I saw like a metal piece where it looked like they had tried to repair the damages. Luckily enough, I wasn't even taking the picture for the reason of the damages. I was taking the picture to show him the temperature and that everything was good on the load. Thank God I did that because it covered my butt, because he was able to see the damages in there. And then when he came back to me, he's like, hey, he said, I need to talk to you. And I was like, okay. So I went in the office. I'm like, man, I ain't been here but a week. What the hell's going on? So when I went in, he's like, hey, that trailer that you brought from Nogales, that you picked up in Nogales, did it have any issues? I said, I didn't pick up a trailer in Nogales. I drove in with a trailer to Nogales. I said, I picked the trailer up at Cargill in Freona. He said, did it have any issues? I said, issues? And I looked at him crazy and was like, well, are you talking about the divots? So, and I'm going to say divots. What it was, and I don't know, it looked like at the top of the trailer, it was punched in. Further down, it was punched in. And further down. So it looks like somebody hit it either one or two things happened. Either somebody jackknifed into the trailer And the way it looked from me knowing Freightliners, it almost looked like the brackets from the wind fairing of a Freightliner, but I could be wrong. Or the other option is somebody could have backed the trailer into it, because it didn't damage the reefer unit. And if you would have backed straight into that, it would have damaged the reefer unit. There's just no way the damages you're going to see in the thumbnail would even qualify to be damaged from that. And if I had done it, and then I got defensive, because I'm like whoa. I said the damages looked old, so I really didn't say anything, but I took a picture because I was showing you the temperature, but you can see it in the temperature picture. And I said, and if you take a picture, guys, with your phone, let me tell you, because he's working for Verizon, right? Technical group. Your phone automatically gives a geographic location of where that picture was taken. If you go to details, it'll give the geographic location. It'll give a time and date stamp. Your phone automatically does that for the pictures you take on your cell phone. So basically, it connects to the tower. It updates the software. When you take that picture, you can go into the details of that picture. It'll tell you city, state. It basically broke down to the U.S. highway of where that damn picture was taken, and the date and exact time I took the photo. So I was like, yeah, I didn't do that. And he can see it. And I had sent him an email with the picture to show him the temps. So he's like, yep, you're good. You're good. So it really kind of had bothered me. And I told him, I said, you can go check the truck. I said, because for me to do that kind of damage, that truck would be jacked up. There's no way in hell you put them holes in that and not tear the whole back of it. I would have tucked the fairing and everything, wind fairing back. Ain't no way in hell you do it. There's no way you can do it. So when I thought about it and I looked at it, it could be somebody either backed the trailer into it, which I don't know how they would do it that way. I really think it looked like somebody jackknifed into it because they didn't hit the reefer unit. That's why I thought it was a jackknife thing. I could be wrong. I don't know how they did it, but there's big ass divots in there, like 3 or 4 of them. So I'll put the picture up and you can see them. That's the only thing. Now, this trailer I got here, it had a whole bunch of shit wrong with it. I put up, and this other company's trailer. It looks like, and you can see where they started, they fixed part of it, but it's bulged out. The wind guard underneath has got a big ass dent in it. The other side has ripples all down. I took pictures of all that. So now I know take pictures of everything with these people's trailer and they're trying to get over. So I called because I was like really blown because I don't like a lot of drama. I don't have any drama on my. I don't have no drama on my deck. So I called the lady who referred me in. I was like, I told her what happened. She said, girl, we've been having problems. Back when I was working there, we had problems. We used to be able to fuel there. And then these people did this, that, and the other thing. And I was like, the guy would come out and be talking to us. I'm like, oh, okay. Gave me enough details to know. Unfortunately, like my father me and him talked about when he was working for the railroad, they would go to grain elevators and load the train at what they call elevators just for grains, to load the train with grains. And they had one grain customer. He would come out there stone cold drunk, cussing at him and talking to him crazy. And he said every time the guy was just a complete alcoholic butthole. And I'm like, and I think he's an old guy. He asked me, is a guy old? And probably because he old. They, sometimes old people, they get lonely. And, if they can't be nice, they just become buttholes. So, that's kind of it. Other than that, the company as a whole is decent. I mean, manual paper, I've done all my paperwork. Within 1 week, within like a week, but Monday to Monday, I hit I think it was close to 3,600 miles, something like that, within 1 week. And honestly, I know that sounds like hard drive. Well, I'm going to say Monday to Monday. Monday to Wednesday, it was 3,600 some miles. And, it sounds like a lot, but it really is probably the least stressful of trucking I've had in a long time. And it might be because I don't have a whole bunch of crap I do on the Qualcomm. I'm not over here. As soon as I get to a customer, I got to remember to put in arrived at customer. I ain't stressed about time. If there's a problem, I just call and say this is what's going on. And, even like how he booked that load with HEB, I was kind of telling him, I was like, look, I'm not a person also that just jumps in the truck and goes. Like, I do walk the trailers. And, I see if something's wrong with the trailers. I check my stuff. And it's really a former habit because I had so many crappy trailers with the starter company. And you just, some of the stuff with the starter company I with, while I think there were aspects of it that was good, some of their equipment was dangerous, actually highly dangerous, because they really need to retire some of the trailers. And, you know, you can give a good truck, but then you're carrying dangerous equipment that's not, you know, maintained well. That's a whole nother problem in itself. Speaking of starter companies, real quick, y'all, if any of you formerly were lease purchase operators with Swift Transportation, and I'll later put the link, I won't do it right now, but I'll do it later. The Wright brother in Dread Pirate Trucking did videos about $100 million lawsuit that they have settled. And it is pertaining mainly to lease purchase. So the lady who referred me here used to be a lease purchase, so she will qualify for that. She's going to qualify for that actual discount, or for that class action. So if you were, I'm going to put the information there, and then you may have to Google it. I don't have the link. I'll see if I can find the link and put it below. I think it's going to, every eligible person will get approximately $5,000 settlement. Yeah, Mandisa, it's a settlement. It's a $100 million settlement. Has to do with lease purchase ops. I think it has something to do with that thing where it's been in the works for a while, but it's where they were basically, you were under a lease purchase agreement, then all of a sudden something wasn't meeting right with how you were performing, and they were treating them like they were damn company drivers and just firing them and taking their trucks. Well, in the contract, I guess they were supposed to take them to arbitration. Swift never did that. They're not the only company. The precedent for it comes from another class action lawsuit from another chick against, I think it said New Prime, which I think is Prime Inc. I think it's New Prime Inc. But when you listen to the Wright brothers video, which is a very good video, he covers it very well, very articulate. You know, it's how he covers it. I haven't watched Dred's version of it, but I did watch the Wright brothers version because I'd worked for Swift. And a lot of these trucking companies, you know, like I said, trucking has a game in it. And some of these people, they be doing all sorts of shenanigans, and they'll get away with it for as long as they can. But they're not the only company that does it. You know, it's really, they're not. Medicine companies do it. You know, and I was sharing with, and I'll use this example. My doctor wants me to switch a medicine that I'm on. I've been on this medicine for years. They've got a bunch of new medicines out. And I had heard I'm sorry, I'm getting the sun in my face. I heard that's the difference. A Volvo has these big ass windows, so you get light with no problem. I had heard of this long time ago. It was a commercial on Sirius back when I was first driving, and they were talking about, because I listen to news, I listen to talk a lot sometimes. I listen to music too, but I listen to talk a lot. They were talking about how the medical companies that are putting out these new drugs, they'll put these drugs out knowing that they have a bunch of different side effects, some that are highly dangerous. What they realize is they might get sued later down the road, but it's a drop in the bucket as to how much money they can make by putting the drug out. So I put out drug XYZ. I know that your right finger falls off after you take it for so many years. While it treats, let's say, diabetes, you might lose your right finger. Well, for those people that lose their right finger after a while, that could turn into a class action lawsuit. But I've made $8.5 billion, and my class action lawsuit is $100 million. Well, $100 million is a drop in the bucket to the $8.5 billion. I'm going to go ahead and let your finger fall off and make my $8.5 billion, because that's really just like me. That's like us having $1,000 and me giving you 10. It ain't shit. I'm sorry. It's nothing. So, you know, to these companies, they don't, while they'll act like it internally, like it's a big deal, they'll still do all the bad stuff knowing that they're going to one day have to pay the piper. You know, if I can get away with it for 20 years, how much money did I make in that 20 years? And then you have to ask, too, how many people are really going to get that 5,000? Who can, some of them people have died off. Some of them, they ain't going to be able to find. The lady that I told, she didn't even know about it. She's moved. She's been married. Her name's changed. And had I not told her about it, she wouldn't have known. She didn't talk to their lawyer. She told, girl, thank you. Because she was a lease purchase trainer with Swift. I was like, go get your dollars. It's 5,000 more than you had yesterday. Hell, wish I could sign up while you're bulling. So, but if any of you have that, definitely sign up for it. But no, overall, right now the company seems good. I don't have any major issues other than, like I said, it's now I got to take pictures of a whole bunch of stuff. And that's the only thing that I took. I got a crap load of pictures from this trailer I got last night, or the night before last, because it was just a hot mess. And when I saw it, I sent it immediately. That way he has an email timestamp. I have pictures showing the details of it, covering my butt. But yeah, so I'm sure if they could put it off on you, they would. And that's really sad. And really what it is, I don't even think it's really about the driver. It's about trying to get this other guy to pay for their shit. And it's just wrong. But again, Shady McLaughlin trucking skills. But he's bought, like when I got back Thursday and started loading my laundry back on the truck that I washed, we were 421, 422. When I got back there was 439, 435 through 439 on the lot. That means those are all brand new trucks that he got, all new Volvos. So it sounds like he's growing his fleet. He said he's getting ready to build a new terminal, and he's going to need a new terminal. And I forgot that in Lubbock, there's another company there called Heath. Robert Heath Trucking. They're in Lubbock too. So, and they're big. They're huge. They're like, I see them a lot. I am enjoying driving just mainly this I-40 corridor. I just go pretty much I-40 to Cali, I-10 and back. The other thing, so communication. That's the other, communication not bad in the sense of if you want me to take a certain route, you need to tell me because I'm not a mind reader. And I guess when they come out of California, Arizona border towns, like when getting produce, and they come back towards Lubbock, they go a different route than what I went. I went through Clovis, New Mexico, and they go somewhere. I think he said Alamogordo or something. I got to find out later. And they come back up that way, which I think I-25 is what he's doing. So I think he's going up I-25. And then when I talked to the lady who referred me, she said, I think US 70. I'll have to figure it out. As soon as he just tells me which way to go, then my GPS will jump on board and get me to Lubbock. But that's the only issues is that I want you to communicate with me how you want me to go. Don't tell me, oh, you took a wrong route. How is it wrong? It can't be wrong if I was never told a way to go. So I ran it myself. I got back to where I was supposed to go. That's what I did. I run 2 truck and truck GPSs. I got back to where the hell I was supposed to go. But other than that, everything's good. The equipment is what I'm really impressed with. Like I said, his trailers as well, our company, or the company I'm with, their trailers, as well as the company we contract with. Even with the issues on the trailer, they ride pretty damn nice. I'm not really worried about brake issues. It's more cosmetic stuff that, and I'm not talking about the reefer don't work. I'm not talking about the trailer brakes are bad. I'm talking about like there's dents in the damn trailer. And to me, that's just trucking. The yard dogs jostling around or some other driver had an issue with it. That's trucking. But the reefers that from the starter company I was with, child brakes bad, reefer unit don't work, codes going off, electrical issue. I'm not dealing with that here. So that's nice. And I'm not running all over the country. That's another thing. I go to Tyson and Amarillo a lot, so I've kind of gotten used to what customer I'm going to be I've dealt with. If not there, I'm going to go to Cargill. And then I've dealt with HEB before, so I delivered there. It's not bad at all. Like I'm happy I left out early but like I said, with the schedule he had given, that's the only other thing. I think he hasn't. I don't know if they know how to schedule because this particular load he had me picking up at 7:30 in the morning on Saturday. And had I done that, I don't know if he was timing it at 70 miles an hour, but you can't do 70 miles an hour the whole way. And even with that, it would have been really tight. I got it on Friday night, which was good, and I drove as far as I could, and I still have another 10 hours to go. I'm 500 and some miles out from the customer, and the load delivers tomorrow at 10 a.m. I'll be there, but I've given myself, because I left Friday night, I gave myself enough time. Had I done it the way he was talking about, I would be most likely very late. And actually, I'm probably going to be early, which is good, because then I got 2 stops in Sac and then 1 on the 26th Oakland. So I've looked up to Sacramento, the first stop. I haven't looked at the second stop. I gotta look at the second stop. But yeah, so it's not too bad. I don't know where he's gonna have me pick out of. He might have me come back, either go down to the border of well, it's getting that season now, so I could actually pick up anything because California's full of produce. So we'll see. But like I said, not bad. I'll do a tour of the truck later. I still got to get settled. This is a mess over here. I still got to kind of get settled in. And like I said, I haven't went and got my stuff from Arizona from the storage unit. I got to let him know when. I need he can get me some time to go into Arizona and get stuff. But otherwise, so far so good. And this is week 3. I mean, like I said, this is a honeymoon stage still. But like I said, the treatment is cool. I really do. It's very laid back. There's a little bit more manual. They're not as automated. But you have to give to get something. And right now, peace of mind is a wonderful thing. And I can't stand a bunch of drama. So peace of mind is just a wonderful, wonderful thing. Yeah, Mandisa, that's just, and covering your ass out here, it's kind of like a good lesson. I did it in a lot of other ways, and I think I was always stressed about it. And this time I'm not. It's just like, okay, just take pictures, because you have to pre-trip your trailer anyway. So all it is pre-tripping. And then the little $200, that was another thing that kind of bothered me for if you mess up the load. But when I talked to Trucker Bill, he really he laid it out. He said, the man's just telling you how to do your damn job. And that's part of our job, is to secure a load so it doesn't, get damaged. If you do that and there's damage, then that's a whole nother can of worms. And it also has to do with how you drive your load too. Other than that, everything else is going okay. Other than Grumpy, and Grumpy is, Lord, I don't know how long he's gonna be on his own, but he'll probably eat, because I think even if we try to put him in a nursing home, he would check himself out. He's special. He's special, and it's bad. And like right now, when I get back, I don't know that I'm always gonna. I don't even think I'm getting to the point once I start having income come back in. I'm probably just gonna need to stay at a hotel until I have all my money. If I go back in, I might just roll, and then if there's an emergency, I can be there. But it's hard right now. He's, as I told y'all, he's incontinent. So for those of y'all know who Grumpy is my father. I call him Grumpy Smurf. And I've added to the name Grumpy Sugar Boy Smurf. He's incontinent, and he doesn't do anything to take care of his diabetes, which I think is why he's pissing so much. He's now in a catheter bag, but he's pissing beyond the catheter bag. So it leaks sometimes if he doesn't empty it on time, but it also can leak because he has to do through the tube, on the outside of the tubing. What he does, because I understand it's psychological, and it is psychological, there are the incontinence underpants that they have different types. So for a person who might be starting out with incontinence, maybe you just have like a little bit of leak, or if you don't get to the bathroom in time, you might leak a little bit. You can get the ones that they show on TV that look like underwear. Well, my father's incontinence is much more severe than that. And because of that, he probably needs the ones that are more closer to a diaper. And he doesn't want to do that, like pull-ups that have the plastic on the outside, like Pampers, the diapers. So he wants the ones that look like underwear. And I know it's psychological. I absolutely know it's psychological. The problem is he's going through over $1,200 a month in those, because he's going through them so quickly. And I said, look, I'm going to mention this one time, and after this, you do what you want to do. I said, look, you're using the wrong incontinence underwear. Those aren't, what you're trying to use is not working for you. You're leaking beyond that too frequently. Whereas you could have ones that are more absorbent, and if you leaked, it would leak, and you could, stay in them a little longer, and therefore you don't go through as many as quickly. I was just leaking out the sides. I said, right, because it's not the right ones, I've gotten to the point that while I was there, I didn't say too much, because I saw him get up and he had big wet spots on the back of his pants. He's gotten so used to it, he doesn't even feel it until it's running down the front of his leg and he sees it. He's just... So this time, again, I hadn't been there long enough, but when you go down the hallway, the whole hallway, and it's not a big apartment, maybe 600 square feet, I'm estimating. when you go down the hallway, which is not a large hallway, from his room and the second room that I would actually stay in, our guests would stay in, and I don't have a bed in there yet. I've been just crashing out on the couch. The urine smell is through the roof. He was washing his sheets on a more regular basis and his clothing, but since he's now too lazy to wash his own clothes, now that he's discovered that he can pay somebody to do it for him, his money has gotten thin, so he pays to wash the clothes he puts on, but he lets his sheets stack up. So they sit in that room, and you just smell the urine from the piss that wasted on the sheets. Then in the morning, he's getting up because he has pissed on the pads, and he's putting those in. It's obnoxious. I mean, I went down the hallway and I said, because it was just that heavy urine, and he doesn't. He thinks he can just. His psychology is what's. His thought process is what's really even more disturbing. Because if you piss on something, I mean, I've had an accident trying to get to a truck stop. Hey, what's up, Hey, trucker half punter, what's up, man? You came in last time. You might have to play back to catch up. I just did all the good and bad of the company. I'm talking about Grumpy Smurf. That's my dad. But you try to have that conversation with somebody, and his thought process, his psychology is just something I don't. It's mind numbing. He has like these little mesh bins that he puts his clothes in that are pissy, and he sits them in the other room on the floor. And I said, you need to get a different bin for your clothes because of this issue. I said, what you're not understanding, Monty, is that get a Zote bar in the laundry aisle. All right. Hey, NR, what's up? I'm doing good, baby. Are you talking about the Zote, like you wash the clothes by hand? Is that what you're talking about? Because what I looked up, there was a point when my younger brothers, my mother decided, which she never changed. She did one diaper one time, didn't change the diaper. I ended up doing it. She wanted to go to cloth diapers for one of my brothers that I ended up raising for part of his life, and I ended up doing all his diaper changes. And we had those bins, and you have like at the top of the lid, you'd put a disc, and the disc would absorb the odor from the piss. Okay, yeah, well, Mendisa, if I get him, I'm not gonna wash it, and he won't. He's too lazy to wash his own stuff. He won't do that. All he's gonna do is take the pissy stuff and put them in the bin. My father, when I say, and actually I'm using the word lazy. Lazy is a nice word. He's what my mother's father used to use an old saying. When you got somebody who's extremely lazy, my father's trifling. He's not even lazy. He's past lazy. He's trifling. His entire day is literally sitting in his chair. That's all he does. If he didn't have to do shit, even get up and wipe his ass and make a plate to eat, and somebody would bring it to him, he would sit in that chair, and that would be what he would do. It's some mind-numbing shit to watch. And it's sad because I know other older people, like my buddy Joe, who's 62 years old. His mom's like almost damn near 100. And that woman's in there making tamales and out trying to garden. Beat him in the store. If he ain't moving quick enough, he's like, hold on, shit, I gotta go. Mama's trying to. His mama like, I'm gone. She don't sit around and just be sitting doing nothing. She always trying to be busy with something. My biological father, no, he'll sit his ass in that chair and won't do shit. Excuse my French, y'all. He's trifling. The brother is just trifling. And so I could get him a Zote bar. He's not going to do anything. Only thing that I might get the bins, he'll use those. But if he has to go buy the bins, he's not going to do it. He'll just keep doing the same shit he's doing now. He's a weird cat. I mean, the dude is just odd. And I don't have either way to put it. He is an odd dude. He is not, his logic is some other shiznit. It's some weird shiz. It's bizarre. His thinking is something. It's bizarre. He takes showers, not every day. So let me give you an example. He has obviously dentures now. He had I think it's top and bottom. I think the top, I don't know if the bottoms are permanent or not. He wears the bottoms, but he won't wear the tops, okay? So the top he stopped wearing, and I think he wasn't wearing it regularly. And what happens is if you don't wear your dentures, your gums recede because they sit in there and keep the gum where the dentures were fitted for. Well, all of a sudden he was wearing, and he'll lie. He lies a lot. He lies about any and everything he can lie about. He lies like I've never, I mean, whatever, to justify his shit, he'll lie. That's just how he is. Or he'll lie to impress. That's another thing. He lies to impress. I'm finding out things. I didn't grow up with him, so I'm finding out things as we go along, and I'm just like, okay. His dentures, when I got back this time, he stopped putting them in at all, the top ones. So because he's not putting them in, they're sitting in the water, and there's black mold in the water with the dentures. I said, Monty, that's unhealthy. It's unhealthy to have black mold in general. But, yeah. Yeah, he's not going to do that, Mandisa. It's too much work. Bro, I feel you. I feel you. It's stuff that I feel you. Females, when we had, well, I'm fixed. But when we had a monthly cycle, if we went over in our, on our underwear, a lot of us would wash it out so we didn't stain our underwear in the sink, because that's what we did. I mean, let's be real. This is adult talk. It's the same thing. If you have an accident, let's be real. If you're sick and you might have a runs or something, you have an accident, most of us gonna wash it out. Yeah. I doubt he's not gonna do that. He's not. He's not gonna do that. And let me give you a better example, so you can understand how lazy he is. He had some sweatpants, and he went to put, I guess, money or something in the pocket, and it went through the pocket. He just took the pants off and threw them in the trash because they had a hole in the pocket. Pants were in good condition. They had a hole in the pocket. I said, what did you just tell me? Well, it had a hole in the pocket. I just threw them in the trash. Don't you take your clothes over to the laundry and you don't even wash them? You could ask the ladies. It probably cost you $5 to fix the hole. Then he goes sit in the car with me, and he's a manipulator too. So I think he thought he's gonna manipulate me now that I'm gonna bring in my little income. I'm not buying you no clothes. You lost your damn mind. Actually, the only thing I'm gonna fix is the car. I'm gonna fix the tires, because to me, and honestly, if it wasn't the fact that I felt it's dangerous to the motoring public, God forgive me, I wouldn't even fix that, because he's trifling. His priorities are messed up. He's extremely wasteful. That's what I said before. That's exactly what I said before. And I told him, I said, you're wasteful. I mean, and the thing is, so my father, I believe he's Christian, but I believe he has a different, God bless him. Him and the Lord are going to talk. His mind is some crap I never dealt with. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to close this curtain over here and see if that knocks out this sun. Hold on. Y'all gonna see my fat foot get up. Knocks out some of it. Hold on. Oh yeah, that's better. That's much better. Actually, I'm gonna cut my hair too. My hair started. So hold on. All right, here we go. All right. No, Les, this is how he's been all his life. It ain't new. It's not new. This is who he's been all his life. This is not new behavior for my father. It's how he's been. So what you have to understand, my father dated. He was a male who he dated several females at once, and the females he would mess with, he tended to go for fat women. My father's not a fat man. If y'all look at the picture, I had a thumbnail of him, but I told you that picture where he has of himself on the wall. He's not a fat man. And in Lubbock, yeah, thank you, Quan. What's up, baby? Yes, thank you guys. Yeah, as Quan always says, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit that bell. So I appreciate it. Quan always watches out for me. Once we hit 1,000, I'm gonna do a drawing on here too, y'all. And something that I use a lot on the truck that I picked up that I really like. I use it almost daily. I'm gonna grab one and give it away. And I'll tell y'all when I do that. We'll do like a video once we hit 1,000 membership, because right now we're at 640 something. Once it hits 1,000, I'm gonna do a video where we're just gonna do what I call a sweepstakes, or 1,000 celebration video, and we're just gonna, everybody who puts comments down below, I'm gonna put their name in the thing and we're gonna draw, and then I'll get an address behind the scenes and send it to them. But it's something I use daily on my truck. You can, if you're not a trucker, you can still use it. So it's something you can use in your house, you can use when you camp, you can use inside the truck. But it is, I already know exactly what item I'm going to go and get a duplicate of. I might just go ahead and get it and put it in the truck as a, when we hit it, because I think we're going to come up hitting it. But it automatically tells me what my YouTube count is, Quan, on mine. I think it automatically gives me that on there. My viewership is higher, but my subscriptions, once we hit like 1,000 subscribers, that's when I'll do it. NATO B, what's up, baby? Yeah, 643. Thank you. No, but my father's extremely wasteful. Les was saying it's because he's older. It's not because he's older. He is been trifling all his life. He believes people should do stuff for him all his life. Even when I met him, and if you go back to the story where I talked about the health issue where he wouldn't help me, my father, he let his mother check herself out to cook him a meal out of the hospital because she wanted to cook, and you don't do that. But that's who he is. He's also always been a user of women. So back in the day, he was the person that would get women, and he would manipulate them to get them gold rings. That picture you're not seeing, but every one of his fingers had gold. You know, that ghetto pimp kind of gold finger. Every finger got gold necklaces, gold finger. He had gold teeth. And he had women, every ring he could tell you the different women that bought him the rings. And women who would just do stuff for him. And that is what he looked for. He looked for that kind of woman. So it is that's just who he is. This is not new behavior just because he's old. Granted, he's more set in it now, but he's refusing to change. And so, you know, he's supposedly Christian. I'm going to say he's Christian. I do believe he believes in God. But he thinks that you can throw money at God. I don't know if he knew they had low self-esteem. He said he liked fat women because he liked big breasts and big ass. But I think it was definitely I definitely know that was a good factor for him to get women who would put up with his bullshit. God forgive me. Let's still go there. Let's just be real. Because a lot of overweight women, like I said, I'm a little different cup of tea probably because I was in an alternative lifestyle for a good chunk of my life. But, and I was more tomboyish. But a lot of heavy women, overweight women, especially heavyweight over straight women, and especially in our society, because they don't get the attention of a thinner woman, they tend to be less confident, and they tend to put up with, in my humble opinion, a lot more BS off of males than they don't end up getting men. They really will almost pay and put up with stuff, and you be sitting up there scratching your head and your butt going, what the hell is wrong with you? And don't get me wrong, there's thinner women who are straight women who they do this. I don't care, alternative, straight, whatever. Everybody does it at some point. But yeah, I think he chose women who had low self-esteem, who would put up with his shenanigans. And he dated a few women who were thinner. I mean, he did date one woman who was not that much younger than my grandmother, his mother. And that was when he was looking for somebody to mama him. And that's another problem. He's wanting somebody who's going to be, basically, he's a little boy. He's grown. I can't put it any other way. He's a grown little boy. A grown little boy wants mama to wash his clothes and cook his meals and clean up after him. That's what a grown little boy wants to do. He wants a woman to come in there and do it. Yeah. The most I do when I'm there is cooking. That's because I cook for myself. If I'm not cooking for myself, I'm like, dude, I'm not cooking anything. You got to go get something to eat. I just see things very clearly like that. It's not to be mean, but yeah, he refuses to cook for himself. And it's not that he can't. He can, because he told me when he was married to my brother, the one I told you guys was Texas Most Wanted, when he was married to, he's the only woman he was married to. when he was married to his mother, he talked about he fried chicken for him and the boys, and because he had a stepson through that marriage, and he made fried chicken for him, my brother, and the boys, and yeah, he chose women who either he chose a mama type figure or he chose a sugar mama type figure, and whatever he could get out of it, he manipulate women to get whatever he wanted. Yeah, so it's not an age thing for him. It is who he is, and he's trifling, but it runs in his side of the family too. That's the thing. We have other family members who are very much like him. We have some that are hoarders. I mean, actually, my grandmother's sister was a hoarder, and the house was disgusting. And even all of her kids, they pretty much live off the system, and they just want to sit on their ass all day and watch TV and heat up food in the microwave. It's a different cup of tea. Now, his mother, it's really hard to really believe it because my grandmother, his mother, she's like OCD. She's cleaning and dusting all the time. She did not keep a nasty. You could eat off the floor in my grandmother's house. It was clean. She could eat off any surface in there. It was clean. That woman cleaned every freaking day. She dusted every day. I mean, you couldn't find a speck of dust. Like I said, not an expensive house, but that you could literally eat off the floor in that house. But yeah, he's a different cat. He's just a different cat. So for me, once I start having income come in, if I go back into Lubbock, if I have to home time there, I might just end up staying in a hotel because it's hard. It's hard to be around somebody like that psychologically. It's hard because it's depressing. It's hard also going into that environment because when you go in, as soon as I walked in the house, I walked in and I smelled piss from the front door. And it's just like I said, it's because of how he's handling it. And, he psychologically, he wants to wear the underwear, the pull-ups that look like men's underwear because I think that's his last feeling of being a man because everything that was important was his penis. That was it, screwing women. And, to him, that made him a man in his world. Granted, he's, in my humble opinion, never been a man. He's always been a grown little boy. And, but he's wasteful from throwing whole bars of soap away. He'll take a bath with soap and use it maybe 3 or 4 times, 3 or 4 showers, and then just take the soap and throw it in the trash. When I got there, I have a picture of that too. I'd seen it because it was really I got there and I saw he had like this red Solo cup, like this drinking cups full of bars of soap that were still good. And I went to the bathroom and I saw it sitting in the trash. I said, Monty, why is this whole cup full of whole bars of soap, good bars of soap? Oh, they got too small. So at first, I'm thinking maybe it is an age thing. Maybe he's forgetting and taking another. And I said, what do you mean it got too small? He said, it got too small. Too small for what? To take a bath with. I said, bro, this bar ain't been used. It looked like 3 or 4 times. I had a picture where the bar was like this and the other bar was like this. It's still that thick. Threw it away. Like 10, 15 bars sitting in the trash. And he'll go buy two packages, and he does all his shopping at Walgreens. He don't want to go anywhere other than Walgreens. He's a weird dude. The dude is just freaking weird. And I know some of it. I forgot who was it that said it. Somebody on here asked me, did I think it was psychological? I do think he has some psychological issues. Now, he was a Vietnam vet, but he didn't fight in the war. He served on the base because he was an only son. So he served on base in Germany. He didn't fight in the Vietnam War, but he was drafted during that time. So we can't really say it was Agent Orange or any other psychological. I think he's just always been a little bit weird. But like he fights at night in his dream. Like when I stayed there when I was working for Wells Fargo, he would get in that. You would hear him in battle in that room. Matter of fact, one time he's fighting so hard in that room with whatever he's fighting with, he fell out the bed and fell in between the dresser. And he said, hey, because he called me Junior. He said, I don't know, I fell this morning. I said, probably in the war you were having in the room. You would hear him in there cussing at something, and just punching the shit out the bed. And that was like a nightmares, dreams. I told him, you need to talk to your doctor. I think he needs to go talk to somebody. I think there's some very deep-seated crap going on. I don't know where it stems from, but it's some deep-seated crap. Hey, what's up, son? It's JJ. Yeah, it's some deep-seated crap going on. I'm not sure where it stems from. I can't even begin to tell you. So part of me feels sorry for him, because obviously when you have somebody who, I think we all have dysfunction, but you can choose to live in your dysfunction or you can choose to come out of it. And he's choosing to stay in it. And I think what he thinks is he can just throw money at the situation, because that's how he got, you know, when he wanted something and a woman wanted something for him, he called himself a good hoe, because he basically, hey, Ray for Tube, what's up, baby? He basically considered that his sexual prowess why women would buy him gold. So he considered himself, he'd tell you, I was a good hoe in my day. I mean, so in a sense, the sad part is how he looks at God is the same way. So he tithes religiously. He'll give his 10% of whatever income he gives in. And I believe in that. Don't get me twisted. But he believes that he can even give offerings above that, but he can still stay in his BS. So if I offer this and God will bless me, then I can keep doing the same stuff. And I'm like, no, you're not understanding. I said, you're blessed already. You're blessed in the sense that most old people his age, let's go there, because I know when if I retire and I have to depend on Social Security, I'm not even going to bring in probably $2,000 a month. Okay, from all the years I've been working since I was 15 years old, and I've made some good money in my day. But even from the good money I made, what they took off from Social Security, if it's around by the time I get there, I'm not even going to bring in $2,000 a month from what I saw from my Social Security benefits. I'm not even going to bring in $2,000. Okay. He's bringing in over $3,000 a month. He's got a $625 apartment note. Yet, because he chooses not to use his head or his weird thinking, and, you know, it's so important for him to look as if he's a man, he's got to have these certain pull-ups. He is spending $1,200 or more every month. And actually, it's even more than that. I know it is. I just calculated $1,200 just on the pull-ups back a while back. It's more than that. It's a lot more than that. Not to mention the cost of what he's paying to do laundry because he's pissing so much. Not to mention him eating out all the time because he refuses to cook. Not to mention that he won't wash his own clothes, so he's paying extra to pay for them to do per pound laundry. Not to mention he's tipping over the top when he goes for breakfast to feel like he's a big man. Yeah, and I could go down the laundry list. You know, it's just like, oh, I need some new clothes, but yet you went and bought 3 Blu-ray DVDs at Walmart. While you was up in Walmart, you could have got you some new sweatpants. Not to mention the tires on the back of the car are dry rotted because they've been on there since 2011. And yet you can drive with a cigarette hanging out your mouth going down the street 70 miles an hour and you can't feel the car shaking. Priorities. Priorities. So I do think some of it's psychological. I think he needs to talk to somebody. One told me psychological was when I was there and I heard him in there. I mean, just cussing, fighting. I mean, just in whatever this weird, just boxing. And usually on a regular basis. There's nothing absolutely ready for Tube. He actually should be in assisted living, but I have a very good friend of mine. His mom was real special. I mean, she's an asshole. She's another asshole. His mom was a massive asshole, and she really screwed him up. He actually was a staunch alcoholic, I really believe, due to his mom. His mom had a gambling. Usually if you have, like I said, I believe the things pass down until you wake up out of them. But his mom was a gambaholic, and he ended up being an alcoholic. So if you have any kind of addictive behavior in your family, it can show up in other ways. His showed up in alcoholism, and his mom was real special. Well, and I'm sure she's dead by now. I lost contact with him. But his mom she needed an assistant. She could barely get out the bed. What she did is there was a lady who was an illegal alien who lived next door, and she ended up in the hospital a couple times. The hospital put her in assisted living. She ended up checking herself out, going back to this manufactured mobile home that her husband left her, and could not at all get around the house. Could not. When my friend came back down, she was trying to get up just to go to the bathroom, and she had one of those porta johns by the bed, like they put in the room at the hospital if you can't get to the actual bathroom, and she fell on that. All right, NR, thank you, baby. You too. She fell on that, and several times he's like, "Mama, you need to be in a nursing home." She wouldn't do it, and you can't. There's a point that if they're conscious enough, cognizant enough, and that will be, I really believe that will be him. My other fear is that he's not going to stop driving in time before he either kills somebody or gets in a massive accident. Because the way he drives is really, it's odd now. I mean, it's really odd, and there's only so much you can do. So you can't force somebody to do what they're not going to do who is conscious enough. And if we put him in a nursing home, he'd check himself right back out. He's going to have to be like at a stroke stage for us to get him in a nursing home. I already know. He's the guy's a dick. He's been a dick all his life. He's going to be an old dick. And it's just who he is. It's not being mean. It's just being real. And I've accepted that. It's just weird when you just kind of like, okay, that's a dick, I've accepted that. But the only difference is I'm related to him. Because otherwise, if I had to deal with somebody like this who I wasn't related to, I wouldn't deal with them at all. That's just honesty. So, but at the same time, I realize it's just like I talk about, and I know some of you guys might be supporters of Trump. Sorry. Not to be offensive. I'm just real. Like I said, I believe God put him in his position. I believe God places kings. That's what the Bible tells us. So he puts these people there for whatever his overall reason is. I don't understand this one, but not everything that God does am I supposed to understand. It just is what it is. But it's just like, Trump. You got, the guy he's a dick. But I believe, and I say this to my best friends, like, I just hate him. You can hate somebody, but understand, people just didn't get to where they're at by happenstance. Something transpired for that to make that person who they are. So something has transpired to make my jacked up daddy who he is. That's exactly Ray for two. That's exactly what I'm doing. It's just like I told him about the tire. I told him about the tires 2 years ago. And I told him when I come down, about a year, it's been about a year and a half, 2 years ago. Now, he did replace, first he lied to me and told me he took the car over to his mechanic and his mechanic told him the tires are fine. And I said, there's no way in hell any decent mechanic is going to tell you that those tires are fine. Those are the same tires that you had from 2011. The tires on your car are dry rotted. So I don't know if you've ever seen a tire, the whole outer rim is just cracked. I told him it's dry rotted. So when I was getting ready to come back down and he knew I was going to use the car, I took the car with a discount. And I got some tires. I might have to get the other ones later because I couldn't afford the other tires. So, Mendice, to kind of give you some history, I am his first child that he had. He was never married to my mother. So I'm born out of wedlock, what they call a bastardized child. The second child he had, he was married to my brother's mother. And that brother has spent his entire life in and out of prison. So that's the second child, and that child is in prison now and probably will either die in prison or my father will be dead by the time he gets out, because this was his most severe crime that he was taken in for, which was attempted murder and armed robbery. So this is the most severe crime he's been in for. All his other ones were drug-related or gang-related. The other children, there are 3 by one woman who has now passed on. It's a very nice lady. I liked her a lot. And I didn't meet them until I was age 40-something. I met them. And I didn't even know they existed. So I met them. Matter of fact, my father's genes are so strong that one of them and me and him look like twins. and we have two different moms. Although there's a resemblance among at least two of the kids, to me, real strong resemblance with myself. The last child that I know of is autistic, and I have not met him at all. I don't even know where he's at. So the three kids that are in Plainview, which is an hour, well, two of them are in Plainview now, which is an hour out. One son has stopped by periodically. That son has some temper issues, which tempers run in our family on my father's side. And he has some temper issues, so he's actually, my father's bailed him out a couple times, I think, for getting into fights. He stopped by occasionally, but they don't come and check on him. They don't come and hang out, and they're 1 hour away from him. The daughter, who actually, very sweet, definitely Christian woman, she really does, and I can tell by the way she says, because when she talks to her, she says, "Hi, Daddy." She goes to almost little girl mode. And you can tell she really wants him to be a daddy, but he's totally incapable of that. Because she called him on some personal stuff, and he called me, talking about, "Oh, have you talked to your sister about da-da-da-da?" She didn't call you. She didn't call me. She called you. Because what she was looking for was fatherly advice. So he does have other children, but no, they don't interact at the level that I have had to. And like I said, when I was in Arizona and I was in my house, he got very sick out there, and I had to kind of step in. I'm trying to do the right thing, but at the same time, right now I'm also staying there. It's helping me too. Don't get it twisted. By me going there, it helped me transition, because I wanted to transition to Texas. I don't have a lot of contacts in Texas, so I had a brother who moved there, but I'm rebuilding relationship with him, and that's from my mother's side, one of the ones that I kind of helped raise. But that's a whole nother saga in itself. So we're building relationships. So I'm not going to call him and say, "Oh, I want to come to Dallas and stay with you." Not. And he's married. He has 2 kids. I'm not going to do that in order to transition to a state. Whereas my father was by himself, and I could actually just come transition. And he kept saying to me too, "When are you coming?" So sometimes, and lately he's been asking me, "Well, what are you guys going to do with my stuff if I pass on?" And he really doesn't, and I didn't want to be mean and say, "What stuff? You have really nothing of significance." Unlike my mother's father, who when he passed, he had property that he left his children. My father, everything has been about him. So you got some watches maybe that your kids might distribute. You have your father's flag from when his father was a veteran. One of the kids might take that, or we'll leave it for Norris, the one who's in prison. You've got clothes and shoes. My father doesn't have anything, and I'm not saying you don't have to leave your children anything, but some people want to leave a legacy. My father's not one of those people that thought about that. Everything was about him. So he doesn't think to the fact, I'm leaving. Like, he gave me some kind of little pocket knife thing he got from the railroad for free. I'm giving you some, don't say I didn't give you anything. And I'm not saying you got to do, but it's just, that's who he is. So no. Well, there's other family that has offered for him to come. Like, he's got a lot of families either in Arizona or Oklahoma. He doesn't want to relocate to Oklahoma, and he doesn't want to relocate to Arizona. He's weird. Like I said, he's very weird. So just even if he went and stayed with somebody, I don't know how long that's going to last for. I mean, I can only take him in doses. Yeah, I have to see. I got it somewhere here in Natal B. I'll show it to you. It was from the BNSF Railroad. Yeah, because how long can you tolerate somebody with the behaviors he has? His personality is pretty entrenched. It's pretty jacked up. The aunt that I told you, and go back to the previous video, the aunt that I told you where she went to cook the meal, and he told her he didn't like chicken breast. She did make thighs. She went and bought thighs to make that meal for him. He's like, "Well, she cooked that." I said, "Really? You think after somebody fixed their mouth and told you what they don't like, and she still had enough love to go buy what you wanted?" But that aunt, they finally, here he was in the house with them for, I don't even know if it was a week. And by the time he was such a dick up in there, they packed his shit up And said, it's time for you to go. They didn't say it like that, but the way they did it was, somebody else was coming and they needed him, they needed the space. Basically, get out. That's how much of a dick he was. He's special. And these people, like I said, they showed him love, but he is such, he had to be 50 at the time. He's a dick. I mean, I don't have any other way to put it. This is not new. This isn't, oh, I'm an old man and I became a dick. No, he's been a dick. And he basically said he practiced being an asshole all his life. You have to practice at it. And he thinks it's funny. I mean, it's a sick individual. Something's not right. And so now, and he didn't have a lot of male friends. He's got one male friend from the railroad who I like. But he doesn't have a lot of male friends. And who you know, if you meet him, all of you would love him. Because who you would meet is a facade. You don't know the background person. So it's just like my biological mother. Most people meet her and they think she's the sweetest thing. They think she's Apple homemaker. That woman is malicious, evil, mean, and bitter. She's an ass. And both my parents, they can put on this show and you be like, oh, they cool as hell. That goes back to that old saying, you don't know the truth until you get behind closed doors. You don't know the truth of anybody until you get behind closed doors. Yeah, they special. They rare. Yeah, so, but that's it. I mean, just going through some of the saga. So right now, as far as this company, though, I like it. Only thing I would like is that I would like to be able to home time where I want a home time. So, like, for example, if we go through Arizona and I say I want a home time in Arizona, I like the home time in Arizona. If I wanted to home time in Cali, since I go into Cali, I want a home time in Cali. Give me a couple days. Let me do my reset in Cali. Because they got some sushi spots in Cali I like to go to. That's kind of me. So that's it. But if we go to a certain state, like if I go to Dallas or San Antonio and I say I want a home time in San Antonio, I would like that. But most of the time I understand is that we home time, or we do our home time always back in Lubbock. Because I think it's smaller and it's a way for him to check on his trucks too. I am going to see about putting the TV in here, and I did see one of the truckers that's on the fleet who had the little satellite dish, so I might do that. Because I don't mind, like I can rest in my truck, and if I want to get out, I just go to a hotel. Because I pretty much live off the truck, and I like travel. Like I said, if I hit the lottery tomorrow, I'd be retired. But honestly, y'all, our videos would be with me going around the country in an RV. Or either I'd have one of those buses done, like a schoolie, and have it totally done. Something like that. I'd be going around the country doing that. That's what I would be doing. Because I like travel. I realize that now. I love travel. There's some things that if I didn't have to do work, I would actually be in an RV with a fishing pole, cameras, a couple of dogs, and I'd be RVing around the country. And I'd be probably here, going into Canada, go fishing, take my dogs, go camping, go around different places in the country. That's what I would do. Yeah, if I hit the power, and then I would probably do some ministry stuff too. That's what I do. Yeah, it seems to be working for me, Ray for Tube. I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. Like I said, I deal with mainly the owner. I mean, it says a lot when the owner's your dispatcher, and the second in command is a former driver with 32 years in. The son is a safety guy. Like I said, everybody's nice. And my father wanted to meet him, so I took him to meet a couple of them. It was late when we went. And so he met like a couple of people. But like I said, everybody, cool people. I mean, they just very down to earth. That's one thing that's huge for me. It's just, down to earth people. Like when I talked to the owner, I said, do you want me to take pictures? He said, all I can tell you is cover your ass. And I was like, I like forthright people. I don't like you bullshit me. Forgive me for putting it that way. I don't like you BSing me. Just be forthright. I call it circle talk. When you go around a tree, people be trying to tell you something. Like, I don't know, like a lady at church. I don't know, baby, why I thought she was going to answer that phone. Instead of saying, can you answer the phone? I don't like circle talk. Don't just say what you got to say. You don't talk to me in a circle. Just get to the point. So that's kind of how I am. But anyway, y'all, this is an hour and 15 minutes. I am going to do a video I'll do a tour of the truck. I'm going to do a comparison video because there's things that I'm seeing between the Volvo and the Freightliner. Like what I like my favorite truck has always been the Freightliner. My second favorite truck was the Volvo. And I liked the Volvo mainly for the interior because I knew it had other issues back in the day. But they have really, Volvo stepped their game up on their trucks. I mean, whatever, all those issues that I knew about, like the electrical issues, out the window. Only thing I don't like about this truck, and I don't know if it's Volvo or the company that did it, we have plugs where like the microwave is supposed to go and where the TV is supposed to go. Those don't work in the truck. But they do have the inverter under the bunks. I think the company disconnected it. And I have a feeling the reason they disconnected it, because I think it has something to do with the APU. Because this truck, my APU is phenomenal on this truck. So on my, just share this real quick, on my Freightliner and on that raggedy ass International I had with that other company, if you put on your APU, when I had the APU with the company in Oklahoma, when you put the APU on, what would happen is if you had to cool off the truck, it would run from the back, and it's an electric APU. Once the voltage got down on the truck to a certain point, it would kick the truck on, which is going to use fuel. Now, that International is kicking on all the time, okay? Freightliner, so it kicked on, and you know, it didn't use as much fuel. It was much more fuel, economic fuel. The fuel on this truck, I don't know what the hell they did with this truck. I'm right now at 9 miles per gallon on this truck, and I'm driving between 55 and 70 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour on this truck. Now, I'm on cruise control more on this truck than I have on any other truck. And what I was realizing is I drive differently with this truck because I'm more comfortable with the equipment. When I was with the starter company, I was not comfortable in cruise control with that equipment, and I was not comfortable with the truck maintenance either. So, excuse me. I didn't use the cruise control as much. I didn't use high speeds. I stayed usually between anywhere between 45 and maybe 60 miles an hour. And I was always on the pedal because I just didn't trust their equipment, and I didn't trust the maintenance of it. Whereas this is obviously new, but also they maintain their trailers exceptionally well. Tires, I mean, exceptionally well. Landing gear, I'm not out there. I mean, this load right here is almost 78,000, and I'm not even doing that. Yeah, I had a truck that was, I had a truck that pulled to the right really bad. And I think I did mention that probably in one of my in the older videos. And that was a 2017. I had a problem with that one. They had given me, when I first came back and went to the reefer division, I actually had a truck that was relatively new. And then when I left to go on the leave, the first time, go check on Grumpy, and then I tried a different company. And then I went right back to the starter company. Like I said, as a starter company, I don't think they're bad. I think that, I hate to say it, I think you need to go through that drama because now I know what to look for. Like, I've helped drivers through social media with things that are broken on their truck that I learned from the starter companies. You know, I had a hose go out on the truck. I was able to tell a girl about that. I had a relay valve go out. I was able to tell people. So starter companies give you that thing. You also learn workarounds with starter companies. But there's a point that as you get to what I call maturity, you don't want to have to deal with the same BS all the damn time. It gets old. And I got worn out. I mean, I really just stopped caring. At the end, I didn't care if the loads run. I didn't care any of that. I was hating it so bad. I didn't care if the loads were on time. I didn't care. I didn't care anymore. I just stopped. Honestly, I just stopped effing caring. I liked the little dispatch lady I had. She seemed personable. At the end, she got kind of weird with me, but, you know, it's okay. I understand because she was going through her own frustration with all the drama that was going on in that office and probably even driver retention. I mean, I'm sure she's busting her ass trying to keep drivers any way she could, but it's okay. I mean, it's no ill will. I still think she's probably a very sweet person. I think that right now they just got a lot of hell going on with the whole restructuring of that company. It wasn't, and it started showing up in other issues because I just didn't care. I wasn't as focused. And I remember I was trying to get on the freeway and I ran past a stop sign. I mean, because I just was getting to the point I was so burnt out, and I was burnt out on the BS. I was picking up trailers and all the drama with the trailers where they were broken, and just shitty and out there, you know, for 20, 30 minutes trying to get landing gear to work. Brakes are bad, having to get a load and then having to go in, talk to the customer and move the damn load. I just couldn't. That's why I said this is it for me. If this one don't work, I'll be driving either for the bus or I'm gonna go to a work from home job. I can't anymore. I'm burnt out on the trucking game. I can't. And even talking to some of my people, like when we did the interview, when we get a chance to do that interview with Nikki, and I'm not saying don't become owner ops, but I'm saying you do have to be set up to be an owner op. Otherwise, you might lose your damn shirt. And Nikki's going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of what she went through from going from a lease purchase op with a major company to then later going under her own authority and the expenses that piled up. And, you know, hers is one story. There are some people who have a much more different story. But I also think it just really depends on how you set yourself up. It really does. So a lot of people, they're jumping out here because of seeing these YouTubers on here, you know, bragging about this, bragging about that. And let me put this, lying half the time about some of the stuff, telling you the truth the other time about some of the stuff. You know, you don't know the truth from the lie. I mean, it's just like, so they get out here and some of the people go on social media and you believe everything is true. And then you get out here and try to do the same thing and get your feelings hurt. No, there isn't anything with doing the company driver thing. I don't know. You know, as I said, I was thinking about doing owner op, and I still might. I don't know yet. I have to really pray on that right now. Right now, I'm happy with what I got going on. I'm happy with the lady who referred me in here. She did lease purchase under the same starter company I was with. She did lease purchase with them and was a trainer at that starter company. So, and we haven't physically met. We've only talked over the phone. I've met her sister because her sister is a member of the church my father is an associate pastor of. We've talked over the phone, and I want to meet her hopefully before she moves to the Carolinas. But very nice lady, but she did lease purchase for a while. She said she made some good money with them. I don't know what caused her to change, but, you know, it's to me, it's got a lot of ups and downs to it. And like I said, you got to be... It's right now I have what I want. I don't have anybody bugging me. I don't have anybody calling me on the phone all the damn time. If I have an issue, then I get on the phone. If there is a major question, they'll call me. But for the most part, he sends my information over this little thing, and I don't hear from him. And I notify him if something's wrong, and I'll just send a picture, text message, and send it to him. I got everybody's cell phone number of importance, and you can call them 24 hours a day. I think that says a lot. And it's a small company. I don't think they're going to be able to do that forever. But at least I'm here in the beginning stages, so that actually amplifies some things. And I'm 50 years old, so I've only got, I'll probably be doing this for another 10 years, if that. Hopefully less. If I hit the Powerball, y'all, I'm retired tomorrow. Here's your truck. Thank you for your time. And y'all will see me, like I said, in an RV, and I have my little tiny house and give me some land somewhere. But, yeah. I'm do that, and then I'm done. After that, I'm done. Yes, they do, NATO. They do allow dogs on the truck. There's a $400 deposit, which is really cheap because that lease purchase company I was with, their deposit was $2,000, and they took it out in increments. And I think only 1,000 of it was refundable, and maybe less. Here it's I think it's $400, and I think $200 is refundable. They want the $400 up front, but they will bill it out in increments. I think $200 and $200. So yes, you can have a dog. And one of the guy who had 422, my truck is 421, the one who had 422, he had a rescued pit. You can reach me, Ray for Tube, at truckerdoll@gmail.com. So the same as this channel, at gmail.com. You can also reach me on Facebook and hit me up in Messenger. Sometimes I don't always look at my Messenger, but I do get to it eventually. I don't look at that on a regular basis, but I do get to it eventually. But y'all can hit me up on that. If you're trying to come to this company, my understanding is they only hire out of Plainview and Lubbock right now. So only that little southern Texas area. I don't know if he'll hire out of Amarillo. He might, because we do go through Amarillo. But my is that only that little western Texas part. I don't know if that's going to be the case for a long period of time because like I said, when I got back to the lot, my truck 421 and 422 were the two newest trucks that are on the lot. We've been there. These trucks have been delivered. They sat on the lot for 2 weeks per the shop. Okay. Because they had to come jump my battery. When I got back, I was only out a week and a half. When I got back and I got my stuff off the truck, came back on Thursday to put the stuff on the truck, we now have 435 through 439 sitting down there. So that means what's that? I'm 432, 422, 10 would be 32. So 17 new trucks in a week and a half. All Volvos. Now, I don't know if he's trading anybody out. I didn't see those many older trucks there. So I don't know if he's trading anybody out. But he's going to definitely need a bigger terminal because right now with those trucks there, and if we come in, there's no way. And he's taking the trucks in consecutive order from what I asked the lady who referred me in. And he's got a few he's got some Peterbilts there. He's got some newer Freightliners. And this blue, my truck is like a babyish blue. I'm going to put a thumbnail up on another video of the truck. It's a baby blue. I think we'll call her Baby B. I think we'll call her Baby B. Because I'm a single sleeper. I'm a single sleeper Volvo. But yeah, I'm gonna go over this because the only thing I'm not liking is their in the single sleeper is their storage. So in the back, what they did, I think, the way I'm looking at it, I think they kept all the cabinetry the same in the double sleeper and single sleeper, except it just doesn't have a bunk on top. I would have preferred the bunk because the bunk could be extra storage because I could have put my bag up there. And the way they have underneath the bunk, I can't put my long bag, so my long bag is behind this chair right here. It's behind the curtain behind this chair. And then I have my little red bag. It's on the floor right now, which I use for laundry. So the little red bag I'm probably going to end up putting under the bunk. Trying to think what else. There's little. I'll do a video. I think that's standard because Swift's was 250 hours, which is about a month and a half to 2 months. So that's 6 weeks. It's the same thing. And usually 50 hours with the trainer with you sitting in the front seat with your trainer. And then there's a point where you pass whatever they ask, and then you go, if the trainer approves it, you go to team status where the trainer's in the bunk and you're driving and vice versa. And then you drive for that period of time. So I think that's standard among what I call button seats companies, which to me, I'm okay with that part. The part that I'm not okay with is if they have the trucking school and it's only 3 weeks long. That right there is just like insanity. Because basically your trainer then becomes the trucking school that I would do. So like my trucking school was 6 months long. And your trainer, your mentor actually becomes, hey, Edward, what's up? I'm almost done, bro. You always come in here when I'm almost done. But, excuse me. Your trainer becomes your, they become kind of like your school teacher. And so when you go out for that 6 week period, that 6 week period, I'm now teaching you stuff that because you only had 3 weeks with some little starter company, you're now having to teach them how to hook the glad hands, roll the landing gear, slide tandems, scale loads. I was doing that in truck. Well, we didn't scale a load, but I knew about sliding the tandems in trucking schools. I knew how to hook up the glad hands in trucking school. I understood weights in trucking school. I mean, I didn't actually have done it, but I understood the concept of weights. But I knew where to go and pull the lever, how to get this. We did all that. So when you get a student who doesn't know that, yeah, that's where it becomes disconcerting. How to couple the tractor to the trailer. That is just totally disconcerting. Because I'm thinking, did y'all even practice backing the bobtail under the trailer? Because I sat with one student for a minute. She's like, no, the trailer and truck were always together. She had never coupled a trailer. That's critical. You do that every day, maybe 2 and 3, 4 times a day, especially if you have to drop and hook. Child, it's critical for a lot of reasons, but it was crazy. Yeah, there's some trucking schools that don't. Well, okay, so the trucking school I went to, they had several different programs. I did choose the longest program, and it was the most expensive program. They did have a quickie program that did not probably cover that. But the other programs that they had, the one that I did, it covered everything. Like I said, we sat in the classroom for 3 months before I even got on the road range. Basically, the 3 months was to get us prepped to get our permit. That was the first part. And we sat in there, but not only that, it gave us the reality of accidents. We watched videos on rollovers. I mean, it gave us the reality of the good, bad, and evil of trucking. NATO B, I went to a school in Arizona called AIT. Back then it was known as American Institute of Technology. It's now known as American Institute of Trucking. They're still there. And I think they still rate pretty good. The other trucking school that I'm hearing very good things about in the Phoenix area is one called Phoenix Trucking. I'm hearing good things about that. And then I do know people who went to the other trucking school I had investigated at the time, which was Southwest Trucking. Southwest, I liked them because at least I had students that came from there, and they really were very big on backing. So when I had students who come from there, I knew I had somebody who could back, because they really push backing, dock backing, alley back. They push backing. So you had a student come from there, and to me, backing is one of the more critical things, because I like I said, if you don't have the concept of backing, I wasn't out there telling you turn right, turn left. I tell you, get out, look at it, and what do you need to do to fix it? Because you gotta come up with your own style of backing. Like I tell everybody, all the combinations of the alley back, the 45, the blind side, the offset, the parallel, all those backs are, in my humble opinion, tell you how the trailer moves. And once you know how to maneuver the trailer, put it in a hole. Simple as that. It's like this one back I can see that I'm most likely gonna have to do when I get into Sacramento. It's going to be a culmination of backs to get that into where I think it's going. There's a light pole. Sorry about that, y'all. I had a message come through. Okay. Yeah, we did a lot of videos too. But we also had a book about that thick. I still have the book. It's about that thick. And it covered pretty much everything that's in the book, but it did extend it. Like I said, we covered everything from figuring out your weights, logs. We spent like a couple of days or maybe even a week on just logs, on how to do your logs. So, and we did both U.S. and Canada. So we figured out we did both. Yeah. Well, we didn't have our permit. We actually, part of our going to the class was to get the permit. And then we all had to pay $100 to do the road range part. And then luckily enough, a lot of our instructors were actually testers. They were, they had gotten qualified to be testers for the state. So I didn't have to go back to commercial DMV and do my test. I did my test right at my school. So we went out with one of the qualified or the certified testers that was part of the school trainers. And they actually did our road range test. And once they signed off on it is when we took our license back. But they prepared us everything for all our testing and everything. Between that, actually I looked more at the book that they had, and then I took the practice test online, and that's how I passed all my tests. So anyway, y'all, let me get my happy butt off here. I got to get in here and get me a shower, and then I'm going to go to sleep because I have to head out of here tonight. And had to try to get this load delivered by tomorrow at 10 a.m. in Californication. And I'm praying that I'm going to look at both stops. But I looked at the first stop. Like I said, it looks hellish. I'm going to be there hopefully early tomorrow. And I'm going to call them, I think, I should call them maybe when I come back. Because I want to know if the dock that I'm seeing on the back is their dock. I think it is. And if that's the dock, then I'll be there early enough and see if they have somebody there early to unload me, because they have me at a 10 a.m. appointment. Then I have another appointment, I think at 2 or 3 o'clock in Sacramento also. And I don't know what the other location is. I got to see. Anyway, y'all, I got to get I got my shower bed together, but I'm going to get some clothes together, go in here, get me a shower, grab me a cup of ice. And I forgot I had bought some ice cube trays, a little freezer, left them right on the counter at the house. So I have to get them when I get back. But anyway, 2 and 2, y'all be blessed. I have another video I've been working on. Oh, and the 411 channel, we're doing videos on, we're going to be talking about a video from Chase and Andrew regarding him and a business relationship. And we're going to just kind of critique it and give our own vibe on it. If you come out here and decide to go into business with somebody. So I'll be doing that this week and putting it up on the Trucker 411 channel. That will not be alive. That won't be alive. But anyway, y'all, let me get off here because I guess my phone is getting hot and it's getting ready